excellent day for an exorcism.
Welcome to Just Another Horror Podcast.
I'm John. Fuck capitalism!
I'm Lindsay, trying to write horror novels because I was a weird kid.
The whole world is your urinal.
Fuck the prime time, bitch!
Hello. Welcome to Just Another Horror Podcast. What?
I don't know, you're really enthusiastic. Hello.
You were last time.
yeah, exactly. I'm John.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm M.
And we're reviewing two movies today, but they're the same movie. It's Carrie from 1976 and
2013. Oh, sorry.
No, wait.
Yeah, that's it. They remade one for USA, I think.
I never saw that one.
Oh yeah, it's like a TV movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Did
not...
they do a series too?
Maybe? I
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea. I know they did a
Gosh,
sequel.
if only we
They did a
research.
sequel to the original, which was something that happened.
Yeah, I never saw that one either, but you told me some about it.
Oh, boy. Alright, let's just not talk about
Was it
that at all.
Carrie to Fire or something?
I don't know. Sure.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I have no idea. Oh, The Rage. The Rage, Carrie 2. That's what it was.
The Rage.
Yeah. There was some stuff in the new one that actually ripped off Carrie 2.
Huh.
So, maybe I should bring that up if I can remember it. Come on, John.
Yeah.
Keep it in your brain.
Get your brain going.
Alright, got it. Alright. Read both synopsises.
Okay, so Carrie 1976. Carrie White, a shy, friendless teenage girl who is sheltered by her domineering religious mother, unleashes her telekinetic powers after being humiliated by her classmates at her senior prom. Now, Carrie 2013. A shy girl, outcasted by her peers and sheltered by her religious mother, unleashes telekinetic terror on her small town after being pushed too far at her senior prom.
Pretty similar.
Quite.
I know we literally just 5 seconds before I hit play talked about how we were going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the first one did a better job of spacing things out.
Yeah.
This one, the new one, I felt like it kind of crammed everything. It wasn't evenly spaced. Like there was they just tried to hit all the beats.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think we really got to know the characters at all. Was it Sue that set her up with Tommy?
Yes.
I think so.
In this one, we don't really get to know Sue, but at the same time, there's more to her, which they barely touch on.
I think in the second one, they made it more clear that she was actually trying to be helpful and do something nice.
Yes.
While in the first one, until close to the end, it really seemed to me like she was probably trying to set her up like everyone else.
I thought
like
she
the
was
other
part
girl.
of the plan.
Yeah.
Too. Mm-hmm.
I honestly, after the first one was over, I still thought she was part of the plan. Something didn't seem right.
Here's what didn't seem right. It's because she was at the prom, kind of sneaking around the back. I'm not sure why she was doing that.
And it was like when she was at dinner with her family, she's like, "Oh, it's 8:00, gotta go." And
Did
she's
they
like,
not know that
yeah.
she
it
wasn't
seemed
allowed
like
to
she
go to
knew
the
what was going to
prom,
happen, and she needed to be there to see what happened. But really, I guess she was just going to see how things were going.
How would she know that she's the prom queen?
Yeah.
There's no reason to be there unless she knew that was going to happen.
Well, I think she just wanted to go see how everything was going, with her boyfriend there with Carrie and see how things were all
turning out.
going for her. But, I mean, as a child watching this movie, I remember, always just thinking, okay, this popular girl is just trying to destroy her like the other ones were.
Right.
So... And then until you get to the end, and then I was just confused. I remember back then, oh, so she really was trying to help her?
Yeah.
And in the second one, the whole time pretty much that she is just trying to make up for, what was done to Carrie in the beginning.
Because Chris even calls her out and is like, "You're just doing this for you." So then she has to take it a step further and have Tommy take her.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Also, I know this is jumping ahead. We'll get back to the beginning and work our way through. But Carrie's delusional, because if you think that you're going to go from not being seen for 12 years to, in 2 days, becoming the prom queen by just going, You know something's up. You have. She
I think she was just so excited. Like
Right.
nothing like this had ever happened to her. She was such an outcast, and
She had
to
it
have.
right at the.
I mean, she was suspicious at first when the popular guy asked her out, but
She
then
should
he
have
talked her into
stayed
it.
suspicious, I think.
Oh, definitely she should have, but
And that was the reason, like, in the first one, I really hated Tommy because I was like, oh my god, he's really
Yeah.
trying to get her to
and
trust
that's what I
him,
thought too.
and
But he was
knows
actually
what's gonna
nicer
happen.
than we thought.
Yeah, I think it was more believable in the first one because in the first one, it was couples. It was Tommy and whoever his date was going to be on the ballot.
Yeah.
The second one, it was individual.
Mhm.
That was less believable.
I
to me.
agree. Because in the first one, she could have believed, like, okay, maybe he's so popular that we did win because
They
it was
just voted
as a
for-
pair.
They more voted for him.
Yeah.
She happened to be with him.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. I wish that, obviously I wish a lot of things had happened differently in this.
Me too.
But
I
then the
feel like
movie would
every
be
time I
boring.
watch this movie, I'm like, can't we just let Carrie have a nice prom
I know.
and live happily ever after? Even though she's kind of the villain, she's more of a victim than she is a villain, I would say.
So these do start out very differently. Like the new one,
Yeah.
she has a baby and I don't even think she knows she's pregnant.
Yeah, she thinks it's a cancer
Yeah.
in the new one. She's like, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, what's happening? Like,
Yeah. Maybe call 911.
Nah,
Yeah.
she's just gonna go die in bed.
Yeah.
And then she tries to stab the baby.
But then she just can't bring herself to do it,
She
thankfully, I guess.
really wanted to stab her like the
Yeah.
whole movie. She was trying to kill somebody
Uh-huh.
like the whole movie.
But in the new one, or I'm sorry, in the old one, it opens up with them playing volleyball. So to update it, they put them in a pool.
Also playing volleyball.
Also
but
playing volleyball.
Just different.
Have you ever been told somebody they eat shit? Like, is that an insult that anybody's
That is
ever
an insult. I mean, I've never said it to
I've
anybody,
never
but I've
heard
definitely
someone
heard it.
say it.
I think it's a little more old fashioned. It's
Yeah.
more like 70s, 80s.
Like, I've heard eat shit and die. But I've never heard someone say, you eat shit.
Oh,
That's-
okay. Yeah, because I know more the first one is what I've heard. That
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's introduced right away that nobody likes Carrie.
Right, which in both films, I mean, first of all, she's a perfectly nice, cute little girl in both of
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason for anybody to hate her. There is one line I think it's in the first one, it might be in the second one, where the one girl says, she's been going around all these years telling us we're going to hell.
Oh, I
Like-
didn't even remember that.
Kind of preaching her mom's stuff.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
has she?
I don't know.
Yeah, they might just be saying that.
I don't
It
know.
was
Because I
Chris,
was trying to think
so-
of any reason,
Right,
you know what I mean,
'cause she
besides
was
the
not
fact
doing
that she's
anything
weird.
to anybody, and
I think it's just, they were just like, you suck. But then
Mm-hmm.
once she had her period, they were like, oh, you're a piece of shit. So,
yeah. I think in the first one, she was more believable as an outcast than in
Yes.
the second one.
I
Like, I
agree.
like Chloe Grace Moretz, and I think she did a good job, but I think Sissy Spacek, like, just seemed weirder, and, like, she would be more of an outcast, while in the second one, she was more, like, I don't think that they would react that way to her. I think she would just be, like, maybe, like, the different alternative girl. She maybe, she didn't seem like
I
such a
felt-
strange, awkward girl.
I felt completely different than you.
Really?
Yep.
I felt fairly different.
I thought,
But probably maybe in a different way than you
Well,
felt different.
based on the descriptions in the book, I
didn't
thought
read it.
Chloe Grace Moretz looked more like what they were describing.
Hmm.
She was a little bigger. Like, she was more...
She
Sissy
just had a little
Spacek
bit
was-
of a round face. That's
I
all.
don't mean to say that she was fat. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying she looked rounder, yeah, and bigger. Sissy Spacek looked like a twig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not... Like, in the book, she's ugly. She's supposed to be ugly. And in both movies, they're like, we're not going to do that. So
I read that when Sissy Spacek first auditioned, they thought she was too pretty to play her,
Right.
and so then she went and she took off all her makeup and, like, redid it, and they were like, oh, okay, she can do this.
Plus, I have a little bit of different opinion about, like, Chloe Grace Moretz. I feel like she was way too young for this part. She was
she
like
looked
how
younger
old
than
was she?
everybody.
She was
Yeah.
15, maybe 16,
Okay,
like turning
uh-huh.
16. And I feel like there's no comparison between her and Sissy Spacek. Like, Sissy Spacek, like, and I feel like her twig look kind of worked for her.
That's what I
At
think.
the end, like her face looks sunken in, and her
Yeah.
eyes are huge, and all, like I feel like that really helped with the kind of evil look to
And
her.
she just has a unique look about her.
She was like
Yeah.
a demon with all the blood on her. It was scary.
She was amazing.
And I really liked how she was there at the end more so than Chloe. Like, she just had this look on her face that was just like pure.
Yeah,
like,
Chloe was doing the arm thing. She
yeah,
was like doing
it was
the
just
arms
too
and
over
stuff.
the top, and it was like in the original, Carrie. I don't think she was totally aware of what she was even doing.
She was just like the first, like her face, and then the first time she like looks up at, I think it was at the lights, and there's that noise, and I'm just like, oh god, like, and
She
it was
moved
just
so
her face.
stiff.
It
Yeah.
was just her face. Like she didn't have to do anything else. She just did it all with just her facial expressions. Like
Right.
Which,
she was actually nominated for an Oscar for this.
oh, good.
Deservedly, I
Yeah.
would say.
That's one of my problems with the new one is I feel like they treated the audience like they were too stupid to know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like they had to hold their hand through everything.
Right.
They're like, look, she has powers. Here's her practicing her powers and all this.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
And I don't think that she would have gotten that advanced in her powers that quickly either, like to know how to really do
Move
exactly
stuff.
what she was wanting to do.
I thought some of the stuff she did do with it though was cool, like when she was moving the glass around and stuff.
Yeah.
But some of it was stupid. It was like half and half.
Right.
And I don't think the original one really touches on her practicing her powers at all.
No, it has her going to the library and figuring out what she has going on here, looking up telekinesis.
Just
But-
trying some research, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't really work on her abilities.
Which I thought was cool. Those are the things that they updated.
Yeah.
Were just like making it a little more modern. It was basically touching on the same beats, but like she would use the internet instead of library books and stuff like
Right,
that.
yeah. And how they filmed her on the cell phone and then put that up at the end.
Yeah, see, that's what they ripped off of Carrie too.
Oh, okay.
In that one, she has sex with somebody and someone films it, and she goes to a party and they close all the doors and put it on all the big screens for everyone to see, and so she kills everybody. So that's, I think, a good idea. Something cool to steal from that movie, because that movie sucked. So Miss Desjardins, what my thought on her character is that she misses being a teenager. And now she's in gym teaching kids so that she can bully the bullies. Every time she talks to Carrie, she's got this faraway look on her face because she's like, I was Carrie. Now I'm in charge and these bullies aren't going to get shit.
I don't know if I got that far into it. I feel like
I
she was
never
just
thought
trying
about
to
that.
stand up for somebody that
That's
wasn't
what I
able to
thought.
stand up for
Yeah.
themselves.
It-
I feel like
It was
Judy
in the book.
Greer did a better job than... Not a better job, I feel like the gym teacher character was written better for the second movie than the first movie. I think it was a little bit over the top in the first movie, and the second movie was more realistic.
I mean, these days you couldn't just like slap a student
Right.
like she did, but back then
Exactly.
she probably could have gotten away with that.
The second movie was almost verbatim the book. Like, I think
It was supposed to be closer to the book.
they
yeah.
went back and read the book and were like, here's all the things that they missed, here's all the beats they missed. So that's why I got that idea, because in the book it's very clear that the gym teacher is there for that reason. In the
Do they talk about her past or anything?
a little, because Stephen King likes to just go on and on and on for days about shit.
Oh yeah, as soon as I saw I didn't know it was Stephen King, like I don't really know that kind of thing, but as soon as I saw his name come up and I said, okay, so when are we going to talk about women bleeding and men being dogs?
Immediately.
And
Immediately.
the mom says it. The mom
Yeah.
says it right away. Every single movie of his, he talks about when a girl gets her period, and then the men come sniffing around like dogs. Every single movie. It was in Dolores Claiborne, Gerald's Game, like any movie I've seen by him, he talks about that.
I'll have to think
just-
that over.
I think he just has like a copy machine, and he just puts his books through a copy machine, and he's like, new book.
But I know even Stephen King was like, why remake this movie when it was already done so perfectly the first time?
It was good. Although I have a few problems with the first one.
Me too. But what are yours?
The locker room scene.
Yes.
That's exploitative.
Sexualizing
Slow
teenage
motion.
Should we talk? I mean, you remember gym class in
Yeah.
high school, right? Was anybody just running around
No.
completely buck naked?
Definitely
Absolutely
not.
not. We
And
were
like-
doing the trying to change your shirt without anybody seeing
Right,
anything,
yeah.
like hiding behind a locker door, like
Uh-huh.
everybody is hiding themselves. There is nobody that is running around without a top on, without a bottom on at all.
Right, yeah.
Like, just rambunctiously playing around as much as I'm sure the men who
Definitely
made this
not.
movie really wanted that to happen. And
Why didn't anybody say anything about this?
What do you mean?
It's not in the book at all like that. Like, why did Brian De Palma decide to do that?
Well, actually, I did read about this a little bit. I guess he wanted to well, not that part so much, but like when she's like sensually like washing herself and everything, he wanted it to be like really out of nowhere,
Jarring.
like her. Yeah, it's very jarring when she got her period and started freaking out and everything. He wanted it to be like unexpected, like, oh, I'm just like enjoying
That
myself
I could
here
get,
in
like
the
if
shower.
it was like trying to set up like a soft, like quiet, gentle thing.
And also the nudity part, I read that like back then it wasn't really typical to put nudity like in the beginning of a movie. Like it was more like if you were gonna have it, it would be later on. So it was supposed to be kind of shocking in the beginning, since nothing scary or anything starts happening until later. They wanted there to be something that's a little bit of a shock in the beginning.
So was this just to put people off balance to start?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. Well, that makes
And
more
I mean,
sense.
but like still, even though these are clearly not real teenagers, they're older, it just seems so wrong to like try and sexualize people that are supposed to be
the characters are
teenagers.
teenagers.
Yeah, I don't think these days that would go over well.
It didn't, because they did not do that.
Yes, exactly.
Well, one reason for that is that the main character was so young.
Right, so they wouldn't have been able to.
So they couldn't have. But in addition, and then the other thing that rubbed me the wrong way was the lengthy, punishing workout scene. I think was just to show a group of girls jumping up and down and bending over and all like, and it
was bored.
seemed to go on for quite some
it did
time.
go on a
You know what
while,
I mean?
yeah.
Like I feel like the locker room scene and that scene were kind of one and the same.
The music
There was
they were
really
playing
no point
with that
to it.
meant that like it wasn't supposed to get you in an emotional way. Like you weren't supposed to be like, ooh, they're really getting punished. I think you're supposed to be like, haha, sex comedy romp, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Which honestly, a lot of that movie, the first one, had that kind of feel to it, like a teen comedy.
Yeah, it did.
Which is a little early for those, wasn't it? 76.
No, because they like even in the
When did
the
Porky's
60s,
come
like
out?
Oh, like you mean the raunchy kind?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
I don't either. have
I
no
wasn't
idea.
even born yet. That's probably the only time I'm going to get to say this on the show.
I had forgotten that John Travolta was in it until I started watching it again.
Yeah, I forgot to.
He cracks me up, but he's also horrible. Just a horrible human.
Yeah,
in this
Oh
movie.
my goodness, yes.
He's not nearly as bad as they portray him in the new one, though. In the new one, he's literally like a convict.
Right.
Right, yeah.
So
And what's her name? Chris is a lot worse too.
they beat the shit out of each other in the book all the time, just constantly beating the hell out of each other. So
Well, and then in the old one, the scene of them in the car where she's like kissing him and then saying, "No, get off." Like I feel like that was what every man thinks that a woman who deserves to get raped does.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like
it could be, but that's what her character does.
what was the point of it though?
Just gain control over John Travolta's character.
yeah.
All right, I guess. But also, she was talking while she was giving a blowjob. Or was that in the second
that
one?
Yeah,
was
and about weird
insane.
stuff too. She's like doing that. And she's like, I hate Carrie White. Like,
Why is that happening?
Like, you got a mouthful, honey. You can't be talking like that. Like,
and she was talking very clearly and everything. It's like, what are you doing down there? Because it doesn't seem like you're just like
what's happening?
So we haven't really. I guess we can just catch up to where we are right now. They throw tampons at Carrie. They say plug it up, and in the new one
So
they
weird.
film it. In the old one they just hit her with tampons.
Yeah.
She gets blood all over the gym teacher and everybody.
And
she's
well,
just
she's
cleaning
like
on
going
everybody.
In both of them, when she comes out of the shower and she's like, "Help me," and she's
Right,
like grabbing
yeah.
onto them, I
Uh-huh.
think that's the excuse for them turning on her, really, because she's getting blood all over them and all that kind
Right.
of stuff. If she would have just stayed in the shower and maybe like called for the teacher or something
Right,
like
yeah,
that, it would
but
have been different. But she's
just so scared. She thinks she's dying. She doesn't
she
know
was
what's
bleeding
happening.
and it hurt, so she
Yeah.
didn't know what was happening.
Right.
oh, that it hurt.
She
Well,
mentioned it did.
she said it hurt. I mean, maybe she had really bad
Maybe
cramps.
some cramps.
I mean,
don't
some
know.
people have intense cramps. Maybe hers were.
I guess.
I'm so glad you two are here for this because
But
Ben Lambert and I tried to work our way through the period scene last time.
To clarify, the actual bleeding does not hurt. Cramps hurt, and that kind of thing, but the actual bleeding
But
itself does
it
not.
coupled with that, like she doesn't know about periods, and she just knows that she's bleeding and that she hurts. So she's thinking like, okay, I'm dying.
Right, and was there never a sex ed class in this school, like
Apparently
ever
not.
about anything?
When did they start having sex ed in school?
I mean, I had it in the 80s. Like 5th grade, they took the boys in one room and the girls in the other room and talked
Yep,
about...
they told you more information than they told us. I told you what they told us, right? See if you can remember this.
I can't remember.
If you wake up sticky, don't worry, don't panic. Here's some deodorant. And that was
Use
it.
some deodorant?
No, here is some deodorant.
Oh, yeah, they gave us... Did they give us deodorant? I can't remember.
You guys, I remember you guys, not you, but the girls came back with tampons, and the guys got deodorant. And we were in 4th or 5th grade, and we were all like, what the hell, what is that?
Yeah.
She's like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know.
All I remember is in 5th grade, I don't think they gave us anything, but I do remember walking out and like people were whispering because one girl in our class had already gotten her period at like the age of 10. Which is early. Yeah. And
you suck!
Everybody was just like whispering about it. I can't remember her last name. Kelly so-and-so already has her period. And I'm like, and here I was at like 15. I still didn't have mine.
Wow, I was just going to say, because I really wonder how common it is for somebody as old as Carrie to only just then be getting her first period.
Right.
It's not common.
I was 15 when I got mine.
Because I would have been like 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm. I think that's when most people got it. But we're a family of late bloomers, so.
But she would have been at least 17, and that has to hardly ever happen.
Yeah.
That's why the gym teacher was like, most people know about this by now.
Right, yeah.
So.
Must have been
but her mom
praying.
really sheltered her.
All the praying kept it away.
Yeah.
What did her mom, is that what her mom thought? Like, what did her mom think was going to happen?
I don't know. She must have thought like it was just evil to get your period, and that means that you're like having impure thoughts. And
I mean, she thought it was evil to have sex. She thought it was. I mean, she must be getting her period. You know what I mean?
Like, nothing in the Bible, and Carrie brings this up in the second one.
Second one.
Nothing in the Bible is anything like what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Where's she getting this shit?
Yeah, I did love that whenever in the second one when she was like, that's not even in the Bible, and then starts quoting like scripture about love and acceptance and stuff. I was like, you go, Carrie.
Right.
Carrie too.
Yeah, I like that the one in the second movie, she stood up to her mother a little bit more than in the first
immediately
one.
too.
Yeah.
So my question is, that worldview that Margaret has, in that worldview, is the object to never to be the last generation of humans?
Apparently. I mean, she thinks it's evil to have sex and you can't reproduce if you don't do that, so.
Right. Although I don't even think she knew that's where the baby came from. Because she's like, God gave me a test. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No idea.
The principal in both movies can't deal with periods. Especially in the 70s one, which I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Right, yeah.
Yep, typical men.
And he
can't
seems
deal
very
with it.
insensitive. Like, he doesn't even bother to figure out her real name. Like, hey, Casey.
Cassie over and over and over again.
They toned that down in the second one.
Right, they did. He only did it one time, I think, in the second.
Which I guess is the tagline in the second one is just, you will know her name. Good job, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay.
So, in the first one, she just gets to go home, and they let her go home and give her gym off. In the second one, they have to call her mom and let her know, which eventually they do anyway. But like that freaks her out in the second one. She breaks the water cooler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, if your water cooler exploded, what would you think? I know you wouldn't think telekinesis, but like you'd have a panic attack, wouldn't you? Like,
I mean, you'd be like, what happened? Like, why is this? Yeah.
But they're like, clean that up.
It feels like she's just more powerful in the second one. Everything's just a little bit more.
Because in the first one, there was something on the table
An ashtray.
an
flips an
ashtray
ashtray over.
instead of the water thing.
Which also, same thing. I'd be like, we got ghosts in this school. But she goes home, and in the second one, her mom picks her up. And her mom is played by that actress
Julianne
whose
Moore.
name I never remember. That's it, Julianne Moore. And it's creepy. She's creepy as hell.
She is creepy. I think both mothers did
Yes.
a really good job.
Yeah, I agree. Piper Laurie, that's the first mother, and she was also nominated for
Yeah.
an Oscar for this. And she's Catherine Martell
In Twin Peaks!
in Twin Peaks.
Oh, yeah. Like, I think I liked her a little bit better as the mother, but Julianne Moore's fantastic as well.
I agree.
I felt like they were just different.
Yeah.
A little different, but they were both really good.
Right.
So
They did a little bit more with the mother in the second one, like they showed her working at the dry cleaner,
Right,
like
yeah.
doing seamstress work or whatever, and showing her being a cutter.
Yeah, she was self-harming there. I don't know. That never happened in the first one, anything like that, but I guess I can see that with her character.
I like her character, but sometimes she makes no sense.
Right.
Like, I don't understand where any of her Bible stuff's coming from, the cutting's coming from. I don't understand any of it. It's like
I'd
she's
like to
made up her
know-
own world or something.
Yeah, I'd like to know how she grew up, you know? Like, what were her parents like? How did she end up like that?
That would be a good movie.
It'd be horrifying. I mean, I imagine it's like 10 times worse, right? That's usually what happens, so...
Probably, yeah.
Whew. I like that she pushes the bike kid over both times. I thought
Yes,
that was
I liked that. That was
freaking
funny.
great. Carrie's mom finds out about
She
this.
gets put in the closet.
Right.
Yeah.
In the first one, she's upstairs and she makes her come downstairs, then throws her in the closet. In the other one, she has to come home and talk to her. And she's, in both movies, this is the first time I've noticed this, she's begging her mom to just have a regular conversation with her. Because she can't talk to anybody. And her mom, every time she tries to have a conversation, is like, Jesus, God, apples, ribs, and Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
And in the second one, like, Carrie knew what was going to happen once she got into that house, so she was like, let's just stay out here and talk.
Mm-hmm.
And her mother wouldn't do anything to her out there because she didn't want people to see what was happening.
Why not? Something wrong with what you're doing there, Mrs. White?
Right?
Well, the creepy Jesus statue.
Yeah.
It's more creepy in the first one.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what's up with those eyes,
Yeah.
but
And he was bleeding.
in the second one
in
he's
the
bleeding.
second one.
Yeah. Which I didn't
can
understand.
Can I skip to the end for a second?
Sure.
In the first one, at the end when Carrie mind throws the knives at her,
Yeah.
and they go in the same pattern
Yes, they
as
do.
the arrows on the Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
They
down
crucified.
like this
She
and then one
crucified her
here.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the extra arrows in the middle were all in the same. Like it was on both hands, but then it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one right here, and it was the exact same pattern as what. Was
I
on
didn't
the
notice
Jesus.
that. I mean, you could tell it was definitely symbolizing Jesus on the cross, but you couldn't. I didn't realize what you are saying. Oh, interesting.
But not in the second one. The
No.
second one, she just loaded her up.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool, but I still kind of preferred the first one there, even.
Yeah, I did too.
It takes her a while to die,
Yeah.
which I thought was cool too. But I was watching it in there, and the neighbors are going up and down, and you just hear Margaret going, I'm just like covering my face. In the second one, Sue and Tommy are fucking in a Jeep, and she's thinking about Carrie the whole time. And Tommy, so you guys didn't like the Tommy from the first one?
I liked him. It's just in the beginning, like until it gets closer to the end, you think that he's in on the joke, you know?
Oh,
You think that
right.
he's trying to just lure her to go to the prom with him, and then they're gonna destroy her, you
Right.
know?
So then
but that wasn't the case.
Right, and I was thinking, well, if he was like working that hard to try and gain her trust, knowing what was going to happen at the end of the
Yeah.
night, then that makes him like worse.
Right, yeah. But since that wasn't what was happening, I do
Right.
like him.
Right. He's also the greatest American hero.
Yeah!
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free.
It's trying to make him seem like a nice, well-rounded guy. Because in the first one... Wait, the first one he writes a poem, but he stole it from somebody,
Right, yeah,
right?
it wasn't really his.
Yeah, and in the second one, she reads a poem, or...
Yeah.
Read
she
someone
wrote,
else's?
Wait, no, yeah, she read it. She didn't write it or anything,
Right.
but...
But in both, he's like, fucking teacher's being a piece of shit.
Right, yeah.
So he's sticking up for her, which was cool.
Yeah.
So I never didn't like Tommy. And in this one, they go right away being like... Because she's like, he's like, what did she ever do to you, you know?
Right.
So right away, he's alright in my book.
Yeah.
Right.
But, I don't know, the one from the first one is dreamy. I love that hair.
I like his hair.
Hair, yeah.
I'm not a fan of blonde.
I don't normally go for blondes either, actually.
You're not really blonde.
You're blue! Alright.
I like long hair, though. So I like
Yeah. Do you like a man bun?
I actually don't mind a man bun on the right guy.
Yeah.
Like, it has to fit him.
Yeah,
Because
I
not
get it.
everyone can pull it off.
I totally get it.
In the first one, I don't remember how she gets out of the closet. But in the second one, she falls asleep in there.
Does she in the first one, too? I'm not sure.
It seems more in the second one like her mom actually genuinely cares about her.
I agree. I thought that, too.
In the first one, I just think that she's like, I fucking hate this thing living in my house.
Yeah.
I don't remember how she got out of the closet.
Yeah, I can't either.
Mm-mm.
Her mom lets her out in the second one, but does she in the first one? The first time she's in the closet?
I don't remember. Yeah, I think they just close in on the Jesus statue and then it goes to the next day or
Yeah.
something like that.
You just
So-
know she got out somehow.
Mm. So the next day, the gym teacher is like, fuck you guys. Tells him that she wanted to suspend him from the prom and suspend them from school, I guess. Which would suspend them from the prom.
Right.
But she can't do that, so she's just going to make him have detention with her. And if you don't do it, then you get suspended from the prom. However, in the new one, Chris tries to get a workaround by getting her rich dad to help her. But the gym teacher's like, you have a video on your phone.
Right.
And she's like, I'm not going to show you that.
Yeah.
And her dad is like,
Just...
oh,
I mean, she's
fucking
insisting that she
piece
doesn't
of
really
shit.
have it on there, but the dad's like, well, then just show them. And she's like, no. And she storms out.
You can tell her dad's the kind of dad that raises that kind of human being. I mean, just the way that he's like, fucking show him your phone. I'm like, okay, you suck. At first he's like, help my little girl. And he's like, I gotta get back to work.
Right.
I think that's after she gets kicked out, right? In the second one. Because she
Yeah.
refuses to do any more exercises.
Right, like she knows that
Right.
she is kicked out of the prom and she wants to go, but not enough to actually show them her phone since she knows what's on there.
Mhm. Why did you delete it?
I know, right? Because that's what people...
She wanted to save it.
Yeah.
To put it on the big screen.
Right, yeah.
I'm really behind on my notes here.
So,
Oh, I love all the tall socks in the movie, by the way.
Yeah.
so Sue, she wants to, in the second one it's more clear that she wants to help Carrie from the get-go.
Right.
But Chris is like, you just want to make yourself feel better. So that's when she asks Tommy. But in the first one, she just asks Tommy out of nowhere. And Tommy's like, alright, fine, I'll do it. He doesn't put up that much of a fight.
Right.
Right. And then I like that the gym teacher is onto them, like, right away.
Immediately.
Yeah.
She's like the most popular boy in school, does not ask
Right. Mm-hmm.
the biggest outcast in school to the prom without, like, a motive.
And I mean, yeah, the gym teacher was thinking the same thing we were. That, like, they're in on something bad here, but really they were trying to help her.
I believed Sue and Tommy. I didn't think they wanted to
Even
do
in the
anything.
first one?
Yeah, I really...
Wow. See, like,
At first, like, I
didn't
got
get that.
confused because as soon as they came up with the idea, they go kill the pig,
Yeah.
which means they knew about it like that. How the hell did they know about it so fast?
Who?
Chris. She gets John Travolta after she tells him, after she blows him. She's like, let's go kill a pig, get the blood, and then we'll dump. But how?
I mean,
Why?
information travels fast in high school, for sure.
But if it was just between her and Tommy, is what I'm saying.
yeah. Well,
Then-
I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure people heard about what...
I'm saying
were.
the timing in the first one's bad.
Okay, yeah.
The timing in the second one makes sense. It completely makes sense. Like, they've had enough time for them to figure out that this is going on. You hear people talking
Right,
about
yeah.
it, and then they cut to the pig.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, it goes, all right, I'll take her. And then cut to the pig. And it's like,
Right.
what
that's
happened?
true.
It's almost like,
Maybe that was to try and see that it was two separate things going on. Like, I didn't
Maybe,
catch
even
that
though we
either.
didn't get it.
I didn't catch it. Like, I figured Sue and Tommy were in on getting the
Right.
pigs and stuff,
That's
too. It
what I
was dark,
thought.
and I didn't see who all was there. But,
I mean, I knew they weren't there, but I still thought that they were in on it.
yeah.
I did for a second because I'm like, maybe she told Chris? Why would she tell Chris? Because Chris would do something. Because that's what Chris
Yeah.
hates Carrie. So it didn't make sense.
And I mean, either way, it is a really extreme thing to do to somebody. Like, yeah, sure, popular people, and there's bullies in school, but like, do they ever do anything like that?
They said it in the second one, and they were exactly right. That's criminal assault.
Yeah.
Right.
Only,
So-
I kind of liked how they approached it better in the first one, where they were just kind of like mean teenagers instead of like criminals, you know, because they were already planning in the second one to like get away, like, okay, let's like leave and never come back.
The first one, they're just dumb kids
Yeah,
doing a really
right.
mean thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is that Chris and Sue are both giving up their prom
Right.
for this.
Mhm.
Like their prom with their boyfriends, that they're never
Yeah.
never gonna do that again. You know what I
One
mean? And
out of a nice thing that she's doing, and one out of an evil thing.
right. And like I just don't see that
Happening. Like would it really be worth
teenage
it?
girls are worried about what dress they're going to wear and their makeup and getting their hair
Yeah.
done and all that kind of stuff, and they could really care about the loser.
If
They
you-
couldn't care about the
If
loser
you
in school.
crossed these two movies and you had the Sue from the second one who's pregnant and knows she doesn't know she's pregnant, she throws
Doesn't
up
know
and
till
doesn't
the
know.
end.
And
But
do you
if-
think that was pointless, having
Yes.
her be pregnant?
It was
That's
pointless,
what I thought.
but you could have used that.
Yeah.
You could have her know she's pregnant, give up her prom, and show that she's a completely mature adult, pretty much. She's ready for
Yeah.
adulthood. But they didn't. In the first one, it's non-believable. In the second
Right.
one, it's doesn't matter. It means
Yeah.
nothing. Most of this movie is pretty unbelievable. Just the things that are... Not the religious fanaticism, that's very
Right.
believable, but, like, the actions that the teenagers take.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in some parts of the country, depending on where you are, that bullying is like way worse than I could
Oh,
almost.
sure.
No, maybe not. I was thinking more about like sororities and fraternities and hazing and stuff like that. But
The first one seemed like a regular school. The second one seemed like a rich person's school almost.
Mm-hmm.
They went to some party at the beginning, didn't they? Like Chris and whoever John Travolta's character is. I really should find his name.
I don't remember either.
I have no idea. But Chris and her boyfriend go to a party in the first one, and it's like at this rich place. It's like a club almost.
Why do I not even remember that?
I don't remember that at all.
It's been a week and a half since I've watched these, but I don't know.
And I also felt like Chris having the rich lawyer dad, it just all played into like a rich school
Yeah.
with a bunch of rich assholes picking on the
Right.
one poor kid in the school.
Could be.
So,
Did it trigger you?
yeah, everything does all the time. I got like a hair trigger, man. Move past that. I better move
Sorry,
past
we
that.
talk all the time about like how horrible our childhoods were.
Yeah, I was poor, everyone was rich. Okay, so, hey podcast world, you want to hear a story? So I used to go to a birthday party because the guy's mom was like, invite everybody in your class, basically. And so I got invited, and everyone brought, money for the guy, like $15, $20,
gift.
whatever, as a gift. I brought 5, and then we were supposed to go to the movies. So my choices were either not go to the movies or borrow the $5 I just gave him to get a ticket.
Oh.
And I didn't get to like have popcorn or candy or anything like that. So everyone around me is like eating and shit, and I'm just like,
Oh, that is a sad story. And I mean, that's unusual too, to like be giving a kid money. Like, did they tell you, like, just bring money? Because usually you go to a child's birthday party and you're bringing presents, not
well, if
money.
this kid was as spoiled as he had every video game system. For the nerds out there, he had a Neo Geo. Those things were $800 and no one had them at all. And he's just like, yeah, I got this piece of junk. What?
Oh man.
I don't even have a Game Boy.
Wow.
Screw you.
How old were you at this point?
8 or 9.
Oh my gosh.
And then recently, Family Tradition started putting up stuff about Trump on there. So I posted a video that made fun of their chicken wings and how bad they tasted. And one of those kids from back then was like, oh, Johnny, you should like that from just nostalgia alone. I'm like, yeah, you guys could afford food. My parents did not. They were like, here's $10. Buy me an $8 hoagie and bring back the change. Poor Carrie. Poor Carrie.
I know.
Definitely.
I know. I was the same thing for me. All the other girls would walk around. We had the charm necklaces, and all the other girls had like their necklaces were just full of charms, and I had like 2. I looked like an idiot. And like, what else was? Oh, the bracelets, the jelly bracelets. They had like jelly bracelets the whole
I
way up their
remember
wrist, and I would get like 1 out of the Ames, just like little vending machine things, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I'd get like 1.
Everyone had those black rubber bracelets. I bought mine from Trader Horn for 35 cents. They were actually plumbing parts.
Oh, interesting.
But you could buy them from Hot Topic for like $12. And
I couldn't tell the difference.
I was like, heh,
Yeah.
suckers.
Look at all these plumbing.
I got
I mean bracelets.
I got like 50. I'm loaded.
Woe is us.
Yep. So Sue's mom actually talks to Carrie White's mom. And I think in the first one, Carrie's mom is trying to sell her religious shit.
Right, yeah.
In the second one, she's just apologizing, and Carrie's like, Carrie's mom's like, all these kids suck.
The woman comes into her job there at the dry cleaner.
Yeah. Well, the first one, I feel like she was trying to spread the good word or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know that she was really trying to sell her anything, right? I think the woman just was trying to get rid of her, and she's like, here's $10 or make it 20
because
or
she
whatever.
was upset by that.
Yeah.
Margaret was upset by that. She was like, oh, okay, I see you just want to buy me off and get me to leave. You don't really want to join my cult.
Yeah.
No one does. No one has the same beliefs as you on Earth. Here's $10. Get the fuck out.
She must be getting it from somewhere, though.
Where?
I don't know.
I had a little boy the other day when I was at work. He was like, can I give you something to read? And I'm like, okay. And he gives me this pamphlet thingy on Jesus. And I'm like, wow, I guess I look like I need religion to this little boy. Because he had already been in there, and then he left, and then he came back in with this to give to me.
She's lost. Yeah.
And then I started finding them scattered in different places around the store too. Like he was wanting other people to find them.
The worst is the ones that are like, they look like dollars, and they fold them and set them in a very specific way. So you think you're picking up $1, and it's a fucking story about Jesus. And you're like, this is not helping me pay my rent.
The dollar would have, though.
In the first one, they break in. First, they kill the pig, and both of them, the guy who's originally going to do it can't do it. So Chris's boyfriend does it, and Chris is like, "Ooh, yeah, baby!" And she even slits the throat. In the second one.
Yeah,
so they're
she's much more savage in the second.
Violent. So the plan is to break into the school, put the bucket up. In both instances, I can't understand why they weren't like, this is a joke, this is a very heavy bucket, we need to put it in a much lighter bucket. For one, it'll be easier to pull. For two, we won't kill anybody.
Is it the bucket that killed him?
Yeah,
that thing was
fell down.
fucking heavy. Like, they used the heaviest metal bucket, steel bucket that they could get, and put it. They're teenagers though; they're morons.
Right. Did they even have plastic buckets back then? Plastic was not as common back then.
Okay.
So maybe that's all they could get their hands on.
Maybe they took it from the farm, like the milking buckets. I don't know.
Either way,
like these teenagers are psychopaths. They're not just being mean. This is terrible stuff.
And John Travolta, I just remembered, in addition to being completely abusive, he couldn't drink a beer. Did you see in the car?
Yeah,
it was all over his face.
All over his face, running down his chin onto his shirt.
That was hilarious.
Did you get any in your mouth?
That's what I was thinking.
That scene goes on for way the fuck too long. From when they're in the car to when she finally says, I hate Carrie White. It's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There's cars that just drive by and honk at him.
Right.
Girls who are just like, hi, John Travolta. And then they drive away.
Goes beside them.
And cops, I guess, were driving around with flashlights real slow, flashing them. What the fuck were the 70s?
They were cruising through town.
Is that what the 70s were?
Yeah, you would cruise through town on your cars. And then,
Oh, man.
It was like, when I was young, it was walking around the mall. We would do, laps around the mall. And before that, it was, driving up and down, the main street of town, stopping at the whatever to get a milkshake and a burger, that kind of thing.
Oh, when I was a kid, it was existential dread in your room by yourself.
Yeah, that was me too.
Finally, Tommy asks Carrie out. In the first one, it's in the library. In the second one, it's in the cafeteria in front of everybody.
Right. Mm-hmm. And he said he went to the library first because that's where he thought she was, but found her in the cafeteria.
So the teacher finds out about it after Carrie's like, I know it's a trick. And I'm sure the teacher's like, yeah, probably. So she yells at Sue and Tommy, and Tommy's like, well, she said no anyway. He wants out.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do this.
But she's like, you gotta try again.
Well, Sue's like, we don't care what we look like, do we? And he's like, no, ma'am.
And then the teacher goes back. She finds Carrie when she's upset about it, and she's like, maybe if you put some makeup on and curl your hair, that'll erase your entire abusive past.
Yeah, see... But she's not thinking of her. Because in both scenes, they're looking at the mirror. And in both movies, they close up on the gym teacher's face. She's thinking of herself.
You read a lot more into this gym teacher
I didn't think
than
about
I did.
this stuff with the gym teacher.
That's all it is. Like, Chris is the bully. But the gym teacher is there to beat up on the bullies that beat up on her when she was, like, Carrie in school.
I feel like she does care about Carrie, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't. Well, we'll get to the end because I know that. I bet we have the same question about the first one.
Maybe.
I bet I know what you're thinking.
Yeah, and I think no is the answer, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
So Tommy then goes to Carrie's house, which is a big no-no.
Right.
If Margaret saw him, she'd probably burn the whole place down.
Definitely. And
So-
I liked how it was better in the first one where he comes to the door.
It's
And
tense.
It is
Yeah.
tense and really awkward too because of just her being herself.
Right. And she's trying to like close
Get
the
him
door
out of
behind
there,
her, but
like,
not.
yeah.
And the gospel music playing in the background.
Ugh.
Right, yeah.
She agrees to go because of the poem thing.
Right. And just to get him out of there, I think, too.
Yeah.
And it really pisses Chris off in the second one when she sees her going into the dress shop and looking around and shit. Because
Yeah.
she's like, that's what I was going to do. So now her anger is like through the fucking
She
roof.
doesn't even buy a dress. She just gets material.
Yeah.
Which I thought was super cool.
Definitely.
She made her own fucking
Right,
dress.
yeah.
Yeah. Both
So-
of them were very nice. The
Yeah.
first and the second one.
I think in both movies, man, they do a good job of making you feel for Carrie.
Oh, for sure.
In the first one more because when we get there, but it's slow motion and you know what's coming and it drags it out.
Do you think Carrie really would have been as good at doing her hair and makeup as she was when she probably had never done that before?
Not in the first one. In the second one, yes,
In the second
because
one,
she could just
probably,
YouTube
yeah.
it, and figure it
Right,
out.
yeah.
But yeah, not in the first one. So in both of them, she tells her mom she's going to the prom, and her mom's like, haha, no.
Yeah.
And that's when Carrie starts using her powers and be like, yeah.
In both of them, she says things are going to change around here,
Yeah.
or something similar to that. Which I was like, yeah, Carrie, yeah, take your power, yeah.
I can't remember when she says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. But in one of them, she says something about rocks stoning them to death. And I think that's why the stones are in the second one.
Well, the stones are in the book, right?
Yes, the house gets
Yeah,
pelted by stones.
they tried to do the stones.
didn't look good.
in the first one, and yeah, it didn't look good, so they just burned it all down.
But that doesn't make sense. Carrie collapsed the house on herself? Alright, I guess. Her stoning herself made sense because that's what her mom said, so...
Yeah.
let's see.
In both of them, there's a little montage with the guys getting their tuxedos.
First one is much better.
Getting ready for the prom.
Much better.
Yes, the second one they end up dancing.
Yeah, it
no. The first one, the ruffles, all the
Yeah.
ruffles. Oh my god.
That conversation is hilarious. I love it. It's my favorite part of that movie. Just them being fucking idiots.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say it's my favorite. It's not my favorite, but it's a part that sticks out to me because it doesn't feel like it belongs,
Right, yeah.
but it's really fucking funny. The girls are also getting ready, and then Carrie's up in a room getting ready, and Margaret's like, he's not coming,
Right,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah, 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 blah. And so Carrie's just like tossing her all around the room and shit. In the first
But
one.
when she sees her in her dress,
Oh,
the
red.
unforgettable line.
Red, I knew it would be red.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
red.
It's pink, Mom.
Oh, yeah, and they're all gonna see your dirty pillows.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
That's the line. I can't believe they used it in the second one.
I know, I was glad they did come back.
I do like her
Not
response to it.
Not
which
that
is,
they're used, to provide life or anything.
Yeah.
they're
whatever.
breasts, Mom, and everyone
Yeah,
has
right.
them.
Both of them, she said that.
Yeah.
Ugh. So in the first one, she just tosses her on the bed and says, stay there till I'm out. In the second one, she throws her in the closet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
And then she like works her way out till she's all bloody. Like I don't know how
it's
realistic. Her mom
fucked
must
up.
have some strength to be like beating her way out of a wooden door.
Well, Carrie had already put a crack in it when I was
Yeah.
at the beginning. She started it. Helped her out a little bit. I really like the song in the first one when they get to the prom. The song that's playing.
I forget what it was.
Wait, I wrote down the quotes.
it was something
He's
about
out-
cherry
he's out of-
bombing a toilet.
He's
I
out of
remember that.
control and the devil's got a hold of his soul, blowing up the John with a cherry bomb.
That's it. At one point, I was reading them and I was like, "This is a little extreme," because the teachers are like, "He did what? Throw him in jail." And I'm like, "What? Jesus Christ!" The second one, I didn't like any of the music at all. None of it.
I really don't remember it much.
Yeah,
I remember
it's
liking
pretty
it better in the
unmemorable.
first one, definitely.
Yeah, me too.
The first one had a 50s feel to it too, which is Stephen King. Everything takes place in the 50s with Stephen King.
Oh, really?
So yeah, makes sense. So in both movies, Tommy and Carrie show up. They wait outside for a minute because she's nervous. And then she goes in and meets up with Tommy's friends. And they all sit down. And it's just nice prom time.
Yeah.
And it's almost... This is where it's like almost identical, everything that happens. The gym teacher comes over and talks to her. Makes sure everything's okay. It seems to be okay. But in the second one, I felt like it was really harping on the gym teacher being like, man, I miss prom and being a teenager, and the only important parts of my life were when I was a teenager, and because she's like, she has this faraway look on her face and all this shit, and I'm just like, they're making it clear that...
I feel like in the first one they did a much better job of showing her transition from being really, really nervous to starting to get a little bit more comfortable to like trusting
I agree.
Tommy, that, you know what I mean, and then to finally pretty much having a good time. I feel like the second one was very rushed.
I think so too.
That's what I meant by the pacing.
I still just don't think she was awkward enough to begin with as the first one.
Yeah, I agree with that.
She just seemed like a quiet kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually they dance, and then she's like, what the hell am I here for?
The first one was very dizzy.
Yeah, they're all like...
dance.
I loved it!
Oh my gosh.
It makes you dizzy watching it.
It does. Do you think that Tommy planned on like kissing her and all of
I
the
was
stuff?
wondering
all that.
that. Like, did he plan that, or did he
Or did
actually
really
start
like her?
liking it?
Yeah.
Is she falling for her?
Because he
Is
seemed
he?
genuine, you know?
He did.
What's Sue gonna do about that? That's her
Yeah.
fault.
He also seemed very upset at like whenever the blood dropped and stuff. He seemed like really pissed.
I think he really cared.
Well, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's just a nice guy.
Yeah.
But he's cheating on his girlfriend there.
At her behest.
Her choice, yeah.
Well, she didn't tell him to kiss her.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering if he was really starting to.
I got the feeling in the second one, or the first one, I'm sorry, the first one,
Yeah.
I really thought that he actually liked her.
Yeah, he really seemed like it.
But in both of them, she says something about being beautiful, and he's like, you're beautiful. And both times I went to the TV screen.
Finger guns.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they didn't kiss in the second one, right?
No.
It didn't get to that point. Yeah.
No, they just... The second one seemed more realistic. Like, he's just like, I'm
that's
just
right.
going to show you a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the difference in the ballots in the second one. In the first one, it's so evil. It's so evil. They have the ballots, they set them down, and the guy's pretending to kiss her and telling her to push, so he's in on it. How many fucking people are in on it in the first one? It's just so evil.
It is.
Oh, fuck, it's just gross. In the second one, I don't know. I don't think there's that many people in on it.
Right, I always think, how could you get that many people that would be in on this, that would be that mean and evil to, like, want to hurt this girl? Even just in the beginning with the period thing, that many people are going to be throwing things at her and making her feel terrible.
That just felt like being part of the crowd.
And especially like none of them, in both of them, when Chris was walking out of the punishment detention workout thing, nobody would join her. You know what I mean?
Right.
To then turn to, now they're going to help her do this. You know what I mean? Like,
I was surprised, as vindictive as Chris was, that she wasn't trying to get more people. Like, get back at them, I mean. Instead, she's going to that PJ Souls from Halloween with the hat. Her one friend in the first one.
with the red, she always wore the red
It's
hat.
PJ Souls. I
And
don't
the
know her
braids.
character name, but instead she goes to her and she's like, here, help me, in both movies. And her boyfriend helps. And
Yeah.
I don't know how many other people help, but...
Well, I don't know why she wouldn't be aiming more of her revenge at the gym teacher.
Yeah, you would think
Instead
she
of
would.
that too.
Because
Yeah.
the gym teacher is really the one that was like,
Yeah.
That's a
Getting
teenage
her
brain, though, at work.
Suspended and not being able to go to the prom.
It just skips over. This is what you're doing to this human being. This is your fault. These are your actions. And if you want to go, like you said, the gym teacher is the one forcing you to be punished.
Right.
It somehow skips all of that and goes to Carrie. I don't get it.
Right.
But I think it's because she thinks, why does Carrie get special treatment?
Yeah. That's probably it.
I mean, was she getting special treatment?
No, she
though?
wasn't.
Oh, okay.
She
No,
very
but
much
in
wasn't.
her thought process.
Yeah. Because in both of them, the gym teacher comes out and she's like, what are you doing? And then she's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Because Carrie's like so crazy, she slaps her.
Right.
In both of them. Like,
Yeah.
that's not helping at all. But
No. I think she was just trying to snap her out of her.
it could be, yeah.
Panic, yeah.
So, okay, I had this argument the last time I reviewed this movie. And you guys can tell me what you think. I don't want to victim blame. So if this is victim blaming, tell me.
Okay.
But even though they were going to win, they were going to win that no matter what. By voting for herself, is she putting herself on that stage?
No, because she would have gotten there anyway.
Let's say it was a legal thing instead of an illegal...
What, voting for yourself?
Voting fraud thing.
So if they wouldn't have been doing the fraud.
Right.
Okay. Well,
And they win by one vote. And she
Well,
gets up there
then-
and they're like, okay, now we can do the pig thing.
I mean, yeah, but she didn't know what was going to be happening, so she wouldn't have had any idea. And she didn't even want to vote for them.
I was just-
like, she was like,
Yeah,
no.
she
And
didn't
Okay.
want to vote for herself.
But she says to the devil with modesty.
I'm not-
That's why I was like, wait, why is this in here?
Okay, another point is, though,
Okay.
this is the first time in her life ever that she has been convinced to have any confidence in herself
Yes.
at all whatsoever.
Mhm.
Right.
So, should that be punished?
No.
Should
No.
confidence be
I don't
punished?
want
This is
her
the
to be
first time
punished.
she's ever felt accepted by anyone. Like,
Right.
anyone actually wants to be her
Even
friend.
on a minute level. So, I don't think she was bringing it on
No,
herself. Do you think the
definitely not
movie
even
was
close.
trying, like, they were
Yes!
trying to say, like, oh, you
there's
brought it
no
on
other
yourself?
reason for that.
You mean for using that phrase?
To have them argue about whether or not to vote for themselves when it doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
it has no bearing whatsoever on
Tommy
anything.
didn't know it didn't matter, though.
No, he
it
didn't
was
know
being-
anything.
Neither
about-
one did, but what's the point? Who
I don't
cares?
know.
Who
I think that
cares
was
who
just
they
a
vote
little.
for?
That didn't really matter that much, but it was just a little part in the movie. Like,
I
okay,
feel like
bothered
it was
me.
a little bit of, like, trying to give her a little bit of confidence.
yeah.
That's what it was? Okay.
I think, but I mean, I could see how you could read a little bit more into it, especially because of that phrase that they used.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, that means that she's fully like, I don't give a shit about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And just that paired with going from no one knowing who the fuck you are to prom queen in 2 days. And she's skeptical all the time. I feel like she should have stuck with her skepticism.
She should have, but I can also see how she's just letting herself enjoy this, you know,
Yeah.
because she's never had.
I
anything
want
like
her
this.
to do that. Like, I want the character to do that, but I'm also like, I know where this goes. So you can't.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe just get out of this school and go on to live
I
your life
wish.
away from your mom. Like,
Yeah.
ah. Anyway, they win because it's a rigged. And
Yeah.
But I kind of liked in the second one how they didn't make a huge deal about the rigging. Like in the first one, it was like watching them go around and pick up all the ballots, and and the second one, they don't really talk about it much except to show them switching them out, which I feel like was a little bit more to the point.
I was okay with how it was in the first one, actually.
I thought the first one was more evil. Just all
Yeah.
the people that were
Oh,
involved.
seeing
And then in the
like
second
how,
one-
how they had to play it out.
Mhm.
In the second one, like, they're showing all these angles of the blood dropping. Like, let's show this, like, 5 times.
Oh, that's
you know?
stupid. Okay, yeah. They get up on stage, they tip the blood. Okay, so let's talk about each one. Because we'll start with the second one because you brought it up. What? Why'd you do that? That's so dumb. I think it's because they were like, this is what everybody remembers about
Right,
Carrie,
that's
so
what I
let's
think.
show it 3 times.
Yep.
That was dumb. Real
I
dumb.
thought so.
The first one was so much better. It was like
Yes.
sorry, I'm gonna say this. It was a beautiful exercise in filmmaking.
I
Just
agree.
Going up the rope, going over to where the bucket is, showing the bucket, and then taking the camera down to where they are. They find out they win, and now it's all one slow motion. Oh,
Yeah,
fucking awesome!
it was. I thought that part was just done so much better in the first one.
It makes you, because if it was the first time you saw it and you hadn't read the book, you're still crossing your fingers, man. You're like,
Right, hoping.
because Sue finds the rope, and she's like, oh, and she's trying to get around, and the gym teacher's trying to head her off, and it's all happening so slow.
And even up to that point, like when Sue sees the bucket and she's like looking at it and she's like, and I'm like, why is she, like, she knows it's there.
That's
why
what I
is she
thought
looking
too,
at it like
but
that?
she
Like,
didn't know.
But she didn't. Like,
No.
it wasn't until like way
I didn't
after the
realize
fact.
that until then, that she
when
actually
she notices
wasn't
they're
in
under
on
the
it.
stage and is trying to get their attention.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
I was like, oh, what's she doing? Like, I thought
Yeah.
she wanted this to happen, but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Ugh. That survivor's guilt that she's got, man. Ugh.
Yeah.
Because she gets tossed out seconds before shit goes
Right.
down.
Lucky girl.
Yep.
At least she didn't get killed.
At least in this one, she didn't see her boyfriend die like
Yeah.
that. Like in the other one, she's looking in, sees it all happening, and
Right.
leaves. But Yeah, you're right about the first one. This whole thing was done better in the first
Yes.
one, from the bucket to everything. That
Mm-hmm.
people dying. There's no crazy music. She's not moving her arms around all over the place.
That was just
She just looks
Terrifying.
scary.
Mhm.
Yeah, scary Carrie. I'm gonna get knocked off my bike for that.
That's right. Or is it
And
creepy
then
Carrie?
Creepy
with
Carrie,
her
that's
thinking everyone's laughing at her, I do not think they were laughing at
they
her.
weren't. They weren't, and you know they
That's
weren't
just how she
because
was seeing it.
Chris and her boyfriend go out the back while there's laughing.
Yeah,
Silence.
right.
They run into a symbol and they go out the door.
Yeah,
Total
everyone was just shocked.
silence.
and
Okay.
felt
So
bad
all the
for
laughing
her.
at her was in her head.
in her head,
Except for-
because she even saw the gym teacher laughing at her. There's
Right,
no
that's
way.
I think the only person that laughed at her was PJ Souls.
Mhm.
I think that's it.
Mhm.
Because clearly she's like, and hitting the other, and the people around her are like,
The hell's
the
wrong with you?
fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for everyone dying
Did
here,
they,
but
in the second one, did they? I feel like. Did they make it? Were they fine? Were they fine? Were they?
the second one was a mess.
Were they actually laughing at her?
In the second one, it seemed like they were.
Yeah, it did.
So, I don't like that change.
And then the video. The second one has the video too.
Right.
Yeah, they
Which-
play that on a laptop, which, what the fuck?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
no one would think any of this is funny.
No.
I think they really were. I don't because they made it. They did make it very clear with kind of how it was like a dreamy kind of like heads floating and laughing.
Right,
like in the
yeah.
first one, that it wasn't real, but in the second one,
It
I
seemed
was
like it
lost.
was in the second one,
Seemed like they
yeah.
were.
I
Which
thought the
is
second one
dumb.
was
Like they
filmed like crap too, like very bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell what I was looking at half the time.
Mm-hmm.
They had a dude get chopped in half by a bleacher
Yeah.
for no reason. Like,
And then like having everyone just like go back in a big wave.
Ah,
and, like it
dumb.
just was dumb.
yeah, it was not scary, not dumb, or it was dumb. It was not scary. And the way that she's just hitting people with stuff and then like accidentally starts a fire and then just walks the fuck out. Where in this
Yeah.
one she's like trying to do things
Right.
and very specific about what she's
Yeah,
doing.
in the first one, even though she's doing all this stuff, she still seems more like a victim than a villain. And in the second one, it's like she wants to harm everybody, and
she
like,
seems like almost possessed in the first one.
Yes, she seems
Yeah.
like possessed. Like she's not even aware completely of what she's doing.
Yes.
In the second one, she's totally aware of it.
I did think in the second one though she was acting like she was possessed, like a demon possessed, like enjoying it almost.
Yeah, she had
She
like
had-
this look on her face.
The
like-
eyes were fucking dark, and I
Yeah.
was like,
But
"This
I
is
just- I didn't
dumb,
like that,
guys.
yeah.
This is not good." And then it doesn't even like in the first one it kills everyone in the building. In the second one, a bunch of people get out.
Right.
So she even doesn't kill Miss Desjardins. Which,
Right. Which is in the book, right? She didn't die in the first one.
Right.
I mean, she died in the first one. She didn't die in the book. That's
Right.
what I'm trying to say.
She picks her up like she's gonna drop her in the electrocution water or whatever, and then just drops her on the stage and walks out.
Does that leave you like with a better feeling not killing the teacher, or was it okay in the first one that she just killed everybody?
I didn't
I was
understand.
okay with it in the first one because, I mean, again, it was like she was unaware of what she was doing completely, so
She's
just
just
everybody
tearing the whole place
dies.
apart. Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't picking on her specifically. She's just a
Right.
person there. So
Yeah.
in the first one, it just kind of cuts to them driving, and they flip their car, and they're dead.
Well, she's in the
She's
street.
there and she makes it happen.
Yeah.
In the second one,
It was weird.
I think this is
It
where
was drawn out.
It
And,
was really
and,
drawn out.
and
the
what
street's falling apart, and her boyfriend's like, "Shitty town."
Yeah.
He's like literally falling into a fucking earthquake.
Yeah. And it's like,
It was just too much.
it was. And Chris was like, run her over. Like, just,
Yeah.
Run her down.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, let's add on to this.
I did like that her face ended up in the windshield, though.
You like that?
I like that. That was nice.
Alright.
But then she gets blown up, and I'm like,
I don't know. I can take it or leave the face in the glass thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
in both movies, again, I think from the prom scene on, the first one is superior.
Oh, for
In
sure.
both.
By
Like,
far.
just in everything that happens. In both movies, she gets home, and I think in the first one, she has more of a feeling of like, I don't want to go in there. And she goes in, and there's all those fucking candles, And I just kept thinking to myself, she knows her mom's crazy, and she's never seen her do this before.
Yeah.
Right.
So this isn't good.
And it's a fire hazard.
I always think
There were
that.
candles on the bed.
How long
Yeah,
would it
that was
take?
crazy.
How long would it take to light all those fucking candles?
Oh, yeah.
Well, she's diligent.
Yes,
That's
she
for
is.
sure.
In the second one, it's not like that at all. It's just she
No.
sees the door's been open, and she's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But
And I liked it better in the first one, like her going and like taking a bath and her mom's hiding behind the door.
Oh, I saw her behind the door and I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
in the second one, she's just walking around, fucking behind her and shit.
Yeah.
Both of them, I don't like baths for the very reason of what happens in that bathtub. Like, I don't want to sit in John's stew, and she's in, like, literal
Right.
pig stew.
I know, and at first I was like, why in the world would she want to do that instead of a shower?
They don't have a
but then
shower.
I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, she's
Could
got
you
an
see,
old-fashioned
did they not
bathtub.
have a shower?
No, it was like one of those old-fashioned like clawfoot tubs without.
I've had one of those before, and you can actually buy a hookup to put the shower
Oh,
in there.
okay.
And
Well,
just,
this
like,
was in
put a
the
little
70s.
thing up in
I
the
know.
bathroom. Yeah.
I know it bothers me though. I like to have options.
I also
for my
thought,
Me
like,
too.
drain the tub and get back in the clean water.
Right, yeah. Like you're not going to get clean
It's not
soaking in all that blood.
But I'm sure she's just fucking traumatized.
Oh,
Right.
sure.
Yeah, she seems to kind of come out of the trance
Yeah.
and like want her mom.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right?
she's like, Mom, I had the worst time. And her mom's like, I should have killed myself.
Yeah.
Great!
Oh.
Here we go again.
Oh my god.
Poor Carrie. And it's just like
Just
one
can't
thing
get-
after another.
Just can't get a fucking conversation out of this woman. So her mom's like, I'm going to tell you in detail what it was like to have sex with your dad.
Ugh.
Please no.
Oh.
And the mom did make a point of saying that the devil took her dad. And
Yeah.
which one was it? Like, which
The
was
second
it?
one, and
The
she's
second
like,
one,
she ran.
He left. He ran off with somebody else, and
Right.
everybody knows it.
Uh-huh.
But the devil made him do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And her mom claims that she only slept with him one time, right?
twice.
Twice, okay.
He promised he'd never do it again, and then like
Right.
after years, he's like.
She said they lived happily.
I
with
bet.
them.
Yeah. I bet they did.
So,
And then he drank whiskey, and that was it. Ugh.
Just yuck. Why tell your kid that? She stabs Carrie in the back with a knife.
Carrie falls down the stairs.
Mhm. And then she's going to try and kill her again. And in the first one, she gets crucified with all the weird knives and stuff. I love the one that's like flipping and shit and making the weird sound effects. But in the second one, she gets every sharp object in the entire room all at once.
Right.
And just, man, fuck, dude. But I think she's still alive in the second one when she gets her down.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
she
kind
dies.
of, yeah. Was it that scene that you said your neighbors were?
Yeah, in the first one,
'Cause
she's
I wrote,
just
is
breathing
she-
and breathing and breathing.
Is she having an orgasm while she's
That's what I
dying?
thought she was doing.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
And I was just like, I should maybe mute this.
Yeah, your neighbors are gonna wonder what you're watching.
Porn at 5 p.m. What?
It's Sunday.
Sue comes in the second one. For what reason, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
She's just like, let me help you. What? What are you doing?
I have not a clue. I thought that was pointless.
But yeah, then she's like,
And then pointless to be like, oh, it's a girl.
she threw up earlier in the movie. So you
Yeah,
knew she
I kind
was,
of knew she
Uh-huh.
was
you
pregnant.
knew she was pregnant, but then she's like, oh, you're having a baby. And
And so, like,
Who cares?
okay, in the first one, she wasn't a mind reader. She just had telekinesis. Now she
Right.
can, like, know when people are pregnant.
Yeah, I don't know about that. How was it portrayed in the book? Because you do find out that she's pregnant, right, in the book?
yeah, and it's touched on a couple of times. Like, it's a big deal to her. And I think that's partially why she asked Tommy to go. Like,
Okay.
And also, is that why Carrie saves her, too? Like,
yeah,
she
she's
doesn't
just
feel
like,
like
get
she
out,
knows
and
she's
throws her out.
pregnant.
Yeah. I think so. But in the first one, the house collapses on itself. And the second one, stones fall. Which, I gotta agree with the first one. It doesn't look good. It really doesn't.
What, the
The
house burning down?
the stones.
Oh, the
falling.
stones.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a good way to do that.
Yeah.
So they did the best they could, I think. But it looks like shit. So
I didn't even realize it was stones until it was, like, almost over.
the dream in this one, the new one, I hate the ending,
Me too.
All of it.
I hate it, too.
especially her going to court. for like a minute,
Right.
and then she's at the graveyard,
Yeah.
and then it's just over. The stone cracks in CGI, and it looks like
And
shit.
then when she's like having the baby and like a bloody hand comes out, isn't that what it is? I forget. There's
Wait,
something
what?
weird in the very end of the second one. Like she's
it after
having
the
her
credits?
baby. No, I don't think so. I wonder if we like watched a different version of it or something. Because like she's having a baby, only it wasn't real. It was like in her dream. It was like the dream. It's a different dream in the first one than in the second one. In the first one, she goes to Carrie's like grave, and then like the hand comes out of the grave. I liked that.
Me too.
But the second one, she dreams that she's having her baby, and like you
Wow.
didn't see that. Where did you watch yours?
Was it after the gravestone part? Or
She
before?
didn't. Did she even go to the gravestone
She
in the
was
second
she had
one?
an umbrella. She went to the gravestone. It said Carrie White burn in hell, and then it cracked, and that was the end of the movie.
And she walked away.
Yeah, that was it.
I know this was a week and a half I watched this, but I swear this happened.
We see Sue at the graveyard where Margaret and Carrie are in a joint plot. Someone has spray painted Carrie White as in hell. Even in death, someone has tried to be heartless and poor. Sue lays a white rose and leaves. In the middle, a crater forms the shape of a heart. Carrie's fate is left ambiguous. I didn't see the
notice
shape
the
of the heart.
heart.
It was just
I
like
didn't either.
shitty CGI.
Yeah.
I don't see anything about the baby part.
Theater ending merged with alternate ending, Sue giving birth.
That's where I'm at too. Okay, yeah, here she is giving birth.
Okay.
I must have turned my sound off, but you'll still be able to
Yeah,
see.
I can hear it.
Oh, my
I
sound.
can hardly make you my... Oh, it's a song. Okay. Is the music still playing? Is that why the lyrics are still going?
Yeah. So you didn't see this part?
No.
This sucks.
I know. I thought it was
Oh, it's not
dumb.
really happening. She's
Oh, man.
Right, it was just a dream.
I am
like-
so glad they cut that in the one we watched. That was awful.
Yeah, I thought it was so
original.
dumb. Like, why would she even...
Even I think the original was really good. Why?
Definitely.
Why fuck with that?
They also, the original, did you notice that they filmed it, like, in reverse, like, backwards?
Yes.
Like, they have the cars going backwards?
Love it. It's
Yeah.
it's what's his name's car too, Chris's boyfriend, and it's going in reverse.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love
That
it.
was really cool.
And the hand is actually Sissy Spacek's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
She demanded that they bury her underneath those rocks in a box
That is awesome.
I love
so
it.
she can reach up and scare her.
Yeah.
I love the timing of the music and everything about it. Just the
It's
first time I
perfect.
saw it, it scared the shit out
Yeah.
of me. Like,
I wasn't expecting it the first time I saw it.
and Friday the 13th basically owes Carrie because they stole this ending to have Jason come out of the water like that. They were like, we need a Carrie ending. So Carrie accidentally made Friday the 13th a thing.
There you go.
Whoops.
Or at least better.
All right, how do we score these?
Probably each do, like, the first one and the second one, like, at the same time. I mean, you know, like, don't go all around and do the first one and then the second,
Okay.
but each do.
Perfect. Okay. I'll go first.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
The first one I gave a 9. I fucking love this movie. I just love it. It gets better with every watch. I don't know why, but it just gets better every time I watch it. I have never seen very many Brian De Palma films. I don't even know any off the top of my head. But I thought he did great. I thought that prom scene, this time when I watched it, was unbelievable. So good.
Yeah.
Definite 9 out of 10. The second one, I feel like it was unnecessary. Honestly, you could say that about any horror remake, really. But this one just felt like it didn't add much.
Yeah.
It added a little bit of stuff that was left out of the book in the first one to make it more faithful to the book. But I don't think it made it a better movie to do that. Like, and I didn't give a shit about any of these characters other than Carrie.
Right.
That's it. Every other character was... Even Tommy was like... He was nice. He's a good guy. But, like, he just didn't... It didn't seem believable. I don't think
Yeah.
they cast it right.
And I mean, it's been, you know, over a week since I watched it, but I don't even remember him. Like, I can't remember what he looks like.
Just a
Trying to
guy.
picture him in
Just
my
looks
head.
like a
I
dude.
remember the original one,
Oh,
but
yeah.
not the second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the first Tommy. This guy, not the hunk the first Tommy
Right.
was. So
The hero.
yeah, I would give this movie a 4. It was not enjoyable at all. I'd rather watch the first one twice in a row back to
For
back
sure.
than watch this again.
Yeah.
So, Lindsay.
Okay, so I absolutely love the first one as well. I'm gonna say 8.5 for it. Like, there are a couple things, like sexualization of teenagers, different things like that make it a little bit lower for me, but I absolutely love it. It's almost perfection. Second one, I also agree. I'm gonna give a 4. It was so unnecessary. The only thing that it did was like modernize it a little bit, like with the cell phone and having that all over the screen and everything. That's like the only thing it really did. I feel like, why not just go back and watch the original? I think the only reason they did this was to make money for like a generation that had not seen the original Carrie. So
It was made for them. It wasn't made for us. Yeah.
Acting in both was good. They had, the main characters did a really good job, but still, first one vastly better.
I would give the first one, I'm going to say an 8. And the second one, probably 4.
We all gave it a 4.
Social!
Woo! My can's empty. I feel like if they would have mixed a couple things, like I feel like Chloe Grace Moretz, I'm sure she's a nice girl, but just nowhere close to Sissy Spacek.
No, I agree.
I like the way they handled like the locker scene and like those things in the second one more, and I like the more development of the Sue character in the second one. Everything else I loved about the first one. If you would take those things and like
Mix
merge
them.
them together,
Right.
it would probably be a 10 for me.
I agree.
But
Wow,
yeah.
so you actually enjoyed a horror movie.
I think sometimes a horror movie can use a remake. Like an
Yeah.
update would help. I don't think this one was one of them.
No, it's
Like-
so good and it's timeless. Like, you can watch this in any decade and it's going to be just as good.
Sure.
Isn't it usually like if technology, if like some of like the more technological stuff could make it
Right,
better,
yeah.
like that would merit a
It didn't
remake.
add
But this
anything to
didn't-
this.
No.
No, because Sissy Spacek was so fucking good that you didn't need the stuff
Right,
that
yeah.
they put in with the second one.
And sometimes it's almost more impressive what they could do back then when they didn't have the special effects that we have now. I like how they had to like improvise and come up with like creative ways to make things look realistic.
I didn't mention it, but I love the split screen also.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
I
prom
love that
thing.
too.
was
Yeah.
the camera tricks. Brian De Palma clearly knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he's really good. Just maybe I should watch other movies of his. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm gonna look into what else he's done.
Just the way he moves the camera around is amazing.
I feel like if they would have, I wrote down some suggestions for the movie makers. Chloe Grace Moretz, I think, was too young and inexperienced, and I looked at, okay, so this movie was made 10 years ago, and all of the other actors were in their 20s, the same as the 70s. Like, they were all, I think the youngest one actually was John Travolta, and he was 23. If they would have gotten like Evan Rachel Wood, Mara, or Kate Rooney, somebody like that,
Yeah.
they could have really pulled off, I feel like,
She looked like a kid. Like
Yes.
she looked like a child kid,
Yes.
not a teenage kid, like a kid.
I believe Stephen King thought that Dakota Fanning would have been good.
she probably
Sure.
would have, yeah.
Yeah, oh well.
Maybe he'll try again later.
Maybe
Right.
maybe they'll make a remake of The Rage Carrie 2 in 20
Maybe.
years. That could use some fucking work. Alright. We are on Podbean, YouTube, Spotify. I don't need it. I got them all. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment. Because, what? Still don't know.
We value your opinion.
You don't seem to have one. About 1 out of every 100 views gives a like.
Alright.
So, and I saw we had some dislikes. I finally figured out how to look at that.
Oh, yeah?
We have like 3 on one video, 1 on another.
Well, at least that's not very many.
Less than the likes.
Yeah, we got on.
Alright.
Yeah, we're at like a steady 92% likes.
Perfect.
Perfect. That's right. So,
We
all
have an
right.
A.
Yeah.
Thrill me.